Good morning everyone, welcome to Saturday Japan. Today's lecture is about inheritance tax update. This update for the new international inheritance tax law. So today's movie is update of my movie number 49. As I explained to you before, there are three types of the taxpayers. So the first one is unlimited taxpayer living in Japan, and the second one is unlimited taxpayers living in overseas, and the third one is limited taxpayers. So unlimited taxpayers, they have to pay the tax for the asset located in Japan and overseas. Limited taxpayers, they have to pay the tax for the asset only located in Japan. So what is unlimited taxpayers living in Japan? So the successor were in Japan at the timing of the inheritance. In that case, it doesn't matter whether you are Japanese or not Japanese, you have to pay the tax for the asset in Japan and overseas. But under the new law, if both ancestor and successor are not in Japan by visa, and both ancestor and successor has not had a domicile in Japan for more than 10 years in the last 15 years, you become unlimited taxpayers. So it's kind of complicated. So let me explain you by pictures. So you come to Japan to work just temporarily for maybe 2 or 3 years and planning to go back to Japan. And when you are in Japan, your father or mother passed away and you inherit the asset. Before, in this case, you have to pay the tax for the asset in overseas. But under the new law, if you are visiting Japan by visa, staying in Japan temporarily, you don't have to pay the tax for the inherited asset in overseas. So this is a good change. And the second, change of the law is about the limited taxpayers. This has more negative impact for the taxpayers. So there are two types of the limited taxpayer. The first one is in case you are Japanese, and second case is you are not Japanese. Let me briefly go through. The first case one is you are Japanese, and if successor lives in overseas at the timing of the inheritance, and both successor and ancestor have not had address in Japan within 5 years before the inheritance. And case 2 is successor is not a Japanese citizen and successor live overseas at the timing of the inheritance, and ancestor does not lives in Japan at the timing of the inheritance. It's maybe very complicated. So what changes? The period is extended from 5 years to 10 years. So if in case you are Japanese and you are living in overseas at the timing of the inheritance, and if both successor and ancestor have not had address in Japan within 5 years before the inheritance, you don't have to pay the tax in overseas asset. But now it changed to the 10 years, so it become more strict. So the second case is in case you are not Japanese. Previously, if you are not the Japanese and if you are living overseas at the timing of the inheritance, and the ancestor is not living in Japan at the timing of the inheritance, successor don't have to pay the inheritance tax for the overseas asset. But under the new law, if the ancestor had an address in Japan in last decade, the asset in Japan and in overseas both became taxable asset. So the new rule stated from April 1st, 2017. So if you have any question, please contact me. See you next time. Thank you for watching my videos. I will make more and more useful videos this year too. So please subscribe and see you next time. Bye bye.